So I was out running this thing pretty hard, cutting through some thick grass and branches and things. And this has been a faithful machine, never let me down up until right now. So it wouldn't start when I was out there. I took a break for lunch, hoping that it would cool down and come back to life, but it didn't. I came back out here and I spin this, and you listen. You can hear something rubbing up there, like a metallic grind. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, that's not good. I don't know what I did. I might have split some bad things in half. Like, bad. I don't even want to think about it. So I don't think it's here. I think it's up there. Back here. See, I'm going to try to do this again. When I spin, hold on. Okay. When I spin this engine over, you should, if it was normal, you should see that. You can see, if I can, hold on. Oh, it fired up. Ah! It's alive! What did I do? I did something. Ha ha ha! I fixed it. Alright, so I guess I'm just gonna explain why I was so sad and why and what happened. So I was working with this thing. I was cutting not big, but just dense grass. It was putting a lot of load on it, getting hot, doing full throttle most of the time, and it bogged down, and it just got a lot of load on it. I was like, that doesn't feel right. What's going on with that? And I went up, and there was kind of like it is now, but worse. There was grass. You can't see that, but there's you just have to take my word for it. There's grass packed up in there. You can see some there. If I could, it's just grass. It's in there packed up, and that was getting so packed up in there that it was binding up and putting the engine under a load of stress. So I went up there and I sat in the shade and I picked it out, picked all the grass out of it. And then when I went back down, it wouldn't fire up. I was like, well, why won't it fire up? And, I let it cool down, figured I've gotten it hot or whatever. And came back out here and still wouldn't fire up. So I figured, well, what the heck did I do? And I came out here and filmed this video because I thought for sure that I was about to, or the other video, I thought for sure that I was about to tear something apart and have to fix it. But no. So what I had done is when I was getting all the grass out of this, I was turning this. Actually, I was turning it that way. I was turning it against the rotation of the engine. And I don't know how, but somehow that backed off something in there and made it loose. It made it disconnect from the motor. So I turned it when I turned it a couple notches that last video, that picked up whatever slack I made, and and when I pulled the cord, it fired right up. I was really happy about that. Yep, and that's just, got lucky that time. I thought for sure I was about to tear it down and have to rebuild or redo something. Okay, let me explain kind of what happened here. This is like a 25-year-old weed eater. It was my dad's. He bought it before I was even around. It's old, and so it's just keeping it running. It's a good machine, and I was really concerned that I broke it. I was out in a field cutting a fence line, just a round fence, and there was privet and dense grass and stuff packed up around the fence line, and it was getting hot. I was running wide open. I figured I had getting something too hot and broke it. So I was kind of like, that's some serious stuff in there. I don't really want to tear that whole thing apart, and would it be worth it just to do that or buy a new one? I don't know. But so I did that, and I was really concerned. And you can see my tool pouch sitting in the bed of the truck right there. So I was ready to take stuff apart and see what I broke. That's not what happened. I just backed off something in there, and so that when I pulled the cord, the engine didn't have enough momentum to draw fuel and air from outside in the carburetor. So it it couldn't start. And so when I reconnected that by spinning it the right way in the video, it like I say, it picked up slack. It picked up that, and it gave it just enough to grab hold and get enough momentum to spin that engine over. It's actually kind of cool how all that worked. But yeah, I was really happy that it didn't break. Even though it kind of would be cool just to see what the inside of a 25-year-old weed eater that has never been taken apart. What does that look like? I don't know. It'd probably be interesting.